going to learn how to upload specials, and we're also going to learn how to upload specials using inventory. So for this training, we're going to be looking at Melrapton and Honda, and we're going to be adding some new specials. So first and foremost, what you want to do is check and make sure that there is the specials widget located on the page that you want those specials to show. So we'll take a look at Melrapton here, and we're looking at their new vehicle specials page. And so these specials right here that you see, they wouldn't show unless the actual widget was placed on the page. So we'll just quickly take a look at that. And we'll look at the URL specials, new vehicle specials. So we're going to check two things. We're going to check to make sure that it's on the page, and then we're going to check to make sure that it has the correct specials category selected that we'll be using. So you can see right here, there's actually two. So in this case, we are using a specials widget to display the category new specials. And below those, we're using another specials widget to display special programs. So we're going to leave that, and we're going to go to the main menu, and we're going to click on Specials. So this is where we're going to look at all of these specials categories here. So we saw on the previous page that we had new specials and special programs, so military and graduate offer, in addition to lease and finance offers as well. So say we wanted to create a new lease offer. Say we wanted to use, just go to the OEM site here, honda.com, and pull from their zip code. So we'll use 95821. So we'll click on lease offers. And we'll just start right here at the top. And I'm actually going to save this image so that we can use it later. So here we have a good bit of information that we're going to want to use. Pricing, expiration date, disclaimers, it's all information we're going to want to use. So we'll go back to Blueprint and we'll click Add Special. You can add a new category. In this case, we'll just add to the new specials. So we'll add a new special. For a new special, you're going to want to start with the title. You can add a price up here if you'd like manually, or you can check this box and it will display the price that we're receiving in the feed. So for this specials title, I'm just going to grab this top piece here, copy that, and paste that right there. That'll be our specials title. You probably wouldn't want something so lengthy, so maybe something a little more like that. Short description is very important. That's what's going to show on the site itself, underneath the special. So for that, that's where we want to grab our pricing information. Doesn't look like I can copy the expiration date, so I will be adding that manually. We'll paste that down here. And we'll say expires, that was, I believe, 4/2/2018, yes. So we also have a disclaimer right here as well that we'll probably want to use. And oftentimes a lot of this information, like the pricing and the due it signing and how many months, expiration, we're going to have typically design create something with all that information on the image itself. And that way we'll really only have to pull the disclaimer to display underneath that special. And I'll show you an example of that when we're done creating this. So we'll just add that alongside the critical information there above. This description down here will not show in the website, but we will be using that a little bit later on when we create a offer using inventory. Special type is very important because this is where we're going to link the call to action that will display with the special. So in this case, we're going to want to use URL. We can go back to the website, just quickly grab their URL up here and add to it. This is for a Clarity plugin hybrid. So I'm going to see what that's displayed as on the website. Clarity plugin hybrid. So I'm just going to add that to the URL. And make sure it works before you add it. This does work. So we'll use this URL. And we're going to link out to that specific model. Dates are very important. This is pretty self-explanatory. Start date, end date. It will only run between those times. And hidden until date is very important, specifically if you want something to display same day, that same day you created it. You want to set the hidden until date to the previous day. So today's date is the 28th. So we'll do a start date, 28th. We'll have that, I believe it expires the 2nd. We want to make sure it's hidden until yesterday's date. So now it's going to show up, when I publish the site, it's going to show up on the site today. Image, this is where we're going to add our image that we used earlier. Should be a folder for specials. If not, it might be good to create one in the assets gallery. So we'll use this, and we'll just quickly grab our Clarity offer that we downloaded earlier. And every image requires alt text, so we need to put that in. And there you go. We've entered in all of the necessary information here. Special title, we have pricing information, do it signing, expiration, disclaimer. We've linked to the appropriate inventory. We have dates, and we have an image. So this is pretty much everything that's going to go into creating a new special from scratch. We have everything. We're just going to add special. And typically it'll populate at the top of the list. What's very important is this inactive button right here. So even if I were to now publish the website, this special would not show like the others because I haven't activated it yet. And you see that it's different from these down below. All you do is simply click that, and it activates. And if you want it inactive, you would just click it again. In this case, we want it to show, we want it on the website, we'll leave it activated. And really all there is to do from here is a publish of the site. Now luckily we now have the option to publish selected area and specials. So that's all we would have to do. In this case, we wouldn't have to do any publishing on the actual new vehicle specials page. We would just publish once to QA and review. So I will do that. We will not be publishing this to the live site. So I've published to QA. We'll just quickly take a look here on the staging site. Specials, new vehicle specials. Sometimes you might have to do a manual refresh or a hard refresh. Shift Control R. Or you can also do Control F5. Sometimes it does take a minute. And here it is down here. Now it did show up last in order. And you can see we have our specials title. Doesn't look like we've added titles for the others, but this is how it would display. And like I said earlier, we typically will ticket design with all of that crucial information on the image itself. And as you can see below, we're just listing off the disclaimer. But in this case, we had a basic image, so we put all of that pricing information and expiration date below. Scroll back up here. And then you've got your disclaimer, and then you have the option to print, and then view inventory. And if we click that, that should take us to our filtered inventory page showing only Clarity Plugin Hybrid. So everything looks good. We've made sure all the information was there in staging. And the last and final step is to do a publish to production, which in this case we will not do because we don't want to send this test to the live site. So I will close that, and I will get rid of that offer. So the second part of this training, we're actually going to cover adding a special using inventory. So using a stock number, a VIN number. This is typically going to be used for used inventory, but obviously if we do it for used, we can do it with new and CPO as well. So let's just quickly grab a stock number from Mel Rapton. A lot of times dealers will want to just put more of a fine point on certain models. Typically older models that aren't selling, just get them highlighted on a separate page. So say they really wanted to highlight this 2010 Soul hatchback. Just grab this number up here, down here, copy that, and we'll leave new specials, and they don't use pre-owned specials on this page, but it is a category that we can use. If not, all I would have done is added that category. But since it's here, we'll use it. And we'll start up top here, whereas previously we hadn't used this field, and we'll paste in that stock number, and there it is. Sometimes you'll see multiple vehicles, sometimes only the vehicle that you need. And we'll click it right there. So if we go back to the website here, we do see a price. It's set to 0. So if we click from feed, it will display that feed price. And you can see down here we've pre-populated a lot of information that we'll be using in this description. But to repeat, this will not show up on the website. What will show up on the website is the short description. So we will paste that up top. I'm also going to use this top row as the specials title. It's very easy. Special type, again, that's where we're linking the call to action button. In this case, there's only one logical choice, and that is to link to the VDP of this specific model. So we're actually going to leave that as is. This featured button down here, when we were on the actual page earlier and we were looking at the widget settings, the specials widget settings, there is an option to display only featured vehicles. I've chosen not to use this option, but it is an option nonetheless, and if you were to select that option on the specials widget and we wanted to make sure that this showed, we would have to click this featured checkbox right here. Dates, typically you want to, again, if we want it today, we would set the hidden until date to the day prior, and you can make it a couple months out. When the vehicle sells, it will automatically drop from the website in terms of a special. So it'll drop off from the inventory, and it'll also drop off as a special. Image, we're already going to have some images from the site, which is great. So we don't have to manually upload anything. We'll just choose this first one right here. And for the image text, we'll just go ahead and use our specials title that we used earlier. And now we have all of the information that's going to display on the site. And from there, we would add special. Now, in this case, I don't believe we have a page that actually displays pre-owned specials. But if we did, we would do the same steps where we activate it by clicking that box and then going through and publishing, in this case, the selected area and specials to QA. And hypothetically, once we did that, we would look at the QA site. We would go to that page if it were set up, make sure that that special is there with all of the information that we want, and the linking to the call to action button is correct. And once everything checked out, we would publish again to production. And in this case, not a full site, just selected site area and specials. I'm not going to do that, and I am going to delete this special. And lastly, we'll just take a look at how some previous specials were set up. So we do have quite a few specials set up here for lease offers and for finance offers. Everything's activated, everything's on the site. You can see that we've chosen to not do a title in this case, which would typically show up right in this area. You can see that we didn't really define start dates or hidden until dates, but we have defined an end date. If I click the settings here, which is that little target, you can see we have all the necessary disclaimer information right here. You can see that we are linking to a filtered inventory page, which will show Accords and 2018 Accords. And right here are dates. I believe if the start date and hidden until date are left blank, then they will appear same day. So once you publish, they will appear on the site. Obviously, what's most crucial is your end date. And that's a little more important with a new special when you're dealing with national offers or dealership offers. You want to make absolutely sure you have the correct end date. With the used specials, you have a little more wiggle room. It's just a vehicle that's in the inventory, and once it sells, it's going to be off the site. And then you can see here we manually uploaded an image from design. Typically, specials image will be 500 by 500, which you can see here in the URL chain. And then we've just titled this one 2018 Accord Lease Offer. And we'll just take a quick look at how that looks on the live site. New vehicle specials page, scroll down. This is a rather lengthy disclaimer, so it's a little longer than the others. The call to action buttons will auto adjust in most cases to line up. And you can just see we have our image and we have all of our necessary information below. If I wanted to rearrange these specials in any particular order, all you do is click and drag up or drag down. And if you wanted them alphabetical, if you're displaying lease and finance offers all in the same category, typically you'll want to separate those or separate those by model. So you'd show Accord, lease and finance, Civic, lease and finance, or you can just show all lease on top of all finance or vice versa. And that pretty much sums up how to add a special in Blueprint.